35 million. Absolute bargain. Absolute bargain. That will be, I'm calling it now, I'm calling it earlier. Alexis McAllister to Liverpool will be the signing of the summer. I'm calling it now and I'm calling it early. It's the 13th of June, you can quote me. Alexis McAllister will be the signing of the season next year. Hey. Hello everybody and welcome back to the final episode of the 2 Foot Attacker podcast for season 2, as something seems off about this recording. I think it's fine. I don't know. I think I'm just... Well, I'll tell you what seems off about it. I'm recording it on a Tuesday. Now, for those who know, I record these on Monday. Australia time, so then I can go out Tuesday at 6 and I can enjoy my Tuesday without being stressed. But basically, I woke up on Monday morning. It was a public holiday. The footy was on and I thought I just can't be fucked. So I'm recording this on a Tuesday, so this will probably not be out at 6. It's currently 3:36 as of time right now. So I'd be shocked if this is out by 6. Won't be out long after though, and it's the last episode of the year, so it's fine. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone has enjoyed the proper break from football. Like, club football is now officially done in terms of Europe's top 5 leagues anyway. Champions League final happened, Europa Conference League final happened, so we'll be touching on both of those two things, as well as wrapping up the transfers and all the other stuff that has happened so far ever since, all the other transfers that have happened since, well, up to date, basically, if I can get my words out, to date. So, that will be interesting for sure. We'll touch on all of those. But, before we start, I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone has enjoyed their week. I hope everyone has enjoyed the public holiday if they were living in Australia, not WA or Queensland. I came to find out there's no public holiday, but I hope everyone enjoyed it for those who did have it. And, normally I say I hope your team's won on the weekend, but unless you're a City supporter or, like, West Ham, I guess. If you're a West Ham, then yeah, fair. But, there you go. So, anyways, let's kick things off. Let's actually not kick things off properly. I want to speak on something before we start, but before I do that, I'll obviously do the mandatory kind of follow the socials and all that good stuff. So audio platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, 2 Foot Attacker Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, and 2FTPod on Twitter. And then Linktree link in the bio of the Twitter and Instagram before you want all your 2 Foot Attacker podcast needs, and all relevant links to the podcast and to myself are linked in the description below. Righto. Before we kick things off and before we touch on what we're going to touch on, I want to speak on something that happened this time last week, and it actually happened in between me recording the last podcast and it actually going out. So I didn't get a chance to speak on it, but I will speak on it now. And that is, of course, for those who were caught up on the socials, you would say that I made an appearance on the We Are Tottenham TV kind of fan channel. So the boys over there, We Are Tottenham TV, kind of just gave me a very just slid in the DMs, if I can say that. But basically, they wanted me to come on and chat about Ange and about obviously he went to Tottenham, he's gone to Tottenham, and chatting about all that good stuff on their live stream on Monday night or Tuesday morning, Monday night Australia time last week. So that's obviously a pretty cool opportunity. Thank you very much to the boys over there for allowing me to come on and giving me their time. That's it. I really enjoyed it. I know it was weird going on a Tottenham fan channel as a Chelsea supporter. They did address it. But it was good. It was good fun. They're good people over there. They gave me the time of day, which I very much appreciate, and they obviously didn't have to reach out. So that's obviously fantastic. So thank you very much to them if they are watching, and if you have come from that, thank you very much for sticking around if you have done so. I'll try to be a little bit nicer to Tottenham maybe now, considering that I've got a few fans from that, hopefully. But it's a big opportunity. Thank you. I think the main thank you I have to say is to everyone who's been watching so far and everyone who watched for the last 18 months or 16 months or whatever. It wouldn't have been possible without those who have watched and who have backed this and liked and subscribed and shared it and done all that good stuff, commented, engaged with it. So thank you all very much. Hopefully this is the start of something very, very good, and the Kickstarter that can really take this community and take all of us to some pretty cool places. So thank you all very much for that. Go and check out the We Are Tottenham TV, boys. They do some good stuff. If you're a Tottenham supporter and you don't know who they are, I'd be shocked if you don't, but go check them out. And yeah, my feature is a video on their channel. So yeah, you can go check that out as well. So yeah, that's all the formalities out of the way. That's something very cool that happened. So yeah, there we go. All right. Let's start. So let's kick things off. So what are we going to touch on? We're going to touch on the Champions League final recap as I quickly get the run sheet up. Yeah, Champions League final recap, Conference League final recap, and then we're going to touch on Messi to Inter Miami, Benzema to Saudi Arabia, Poch to Chelsea, because I haven't spoken about that yet. McAllister to Liverpool, Tielemans to Villa, Kovacic to Man City, and Gundogan to the free agent market potentially. Bumper episode. I don't know how long this is going to be. Hopefully not too long, because I really want to get this out as quickly as possible, probably before 6 o'clock preferably, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So yes, let's kick things off. Let's start with obviously the Champions League final recap. It was Manchester City 1, Inter Milan 0 in Istanbul. Manchester City win the treble. Manchester City are the first team to win the treble in England since United in '99. They've done it in I wouldn't say in a more convincing manner. They obviously performed well in the league. They performed far better in the league, and they won the Champions League final and the FA Cup as well. In pretty convincing manners as well. Obviously, it was a Rodri goal, I think, just after the hour mark, was it? To give City the lead, and they obviously held on to that lead quite well. Touching on the game was quite, I wouldn't say boring. It was a very tense game, quite nervy as you would expect. City having the experience of being in that Champions League final before not long ago. This Inter team probably doesn't have that big game experience at the top European level. So obviously that was a big factor that both sides could kind of draw off and kind of feed into that kind of energy in a sense. City dominated for the most part. They got their goal, which I think was well deserved. But even after they got their goal, they kind of, I wouldn't say went back in their shell, but as you would expect, Inter kind of put the pressure on a little bit, kind of pushed towards pushed towards that getting that goal a lot sooner. They kind of went a lot more direct very soon after they conceded, and they really tried to push it quite early. They try to force it a little bit too early, maybe. I think if they just let the game play out as it normally would have, then maybe it could have been a different story. But you can't say they didn't create chances. They could create an abundance of chances, right? And he was set there for Romelu Lukaku a couple of times to kind of put into level. And we saw this enigma that is Romelu Lukaku, right? We all know his goal scoring prowess. For a couple of clubs he's been at, the goal scoring prowess for a couple of clubs he's been at, and then it is one of those things where, is it a confidence issue? Is it a wrong place, wrong time? Is it just that it hasn't fell his way? Because ever since he's moved to Chelsea, ever since he's moved back to Inter, he hasn't looked the same player. We saw obviously at the World Cup with Belgium, he missed a couple of chances in that game against would have been Croatia in that final group game, I think it was, that didn't allow them to go through. Obviously, very similar chances he missed against City in the Champions League final. That header from 6 yards out or whatever it was, that realistically he should have buried, but just wasn't able to do it. Like, it's one of those things, right? He'll be reliving that time and time again, and it's quite unfortunate the way that it has fallen. It's quite unfortunate that the way it's fallen, considering the status or the reputation in a sense that Lukaku had about being like this ruthless finisher and all this good stuff. It just hasn't been able to do it when it matters most, which is a shame for him, shame for Inter. Inter created a lot of chances, but overall it was what it was. City got the chocolates. They did what they needed to do, and it's an unbelievable achievement and a very kind of, I think, landmark moment in Australian football, in English football. I think, considering now City have been this team that have been kind of always top of England for a long time, but have never been truly top of England because they haven't been able to have that European success. They finally got it. They've got it in a very convincing manner as well. And there's so many storylines littered throughout that team. Haaland has come in and has fitted in like a glove. He's been unbelievable. I think John Stones as well. 7 dribbles completed for an English centre-back in a Champions League final, playing as a central defensive midfielder / centre mid. John Stones was practically playing as a number 8. Like, he was so unbelievably good. against Inter. I didn't watch the game live, unfortunately. I went back and watched it the day after. I was indulging on Saturday night, so I didn't actually watch it. But yeah, like I went back and watched the game, and like the most entertaining player on the pitch was John Stones, which is insane. If you had said that to anyone 7 years ago, that or like 5 years ago, that the most entertaining player in a Champions League final between Man City and Inter Milan in the year 2023 would be John Stones playing as a central midfielder, you would laugh in their face. But I think it was 7 dribbles completed. He was playing this kind of Mazzala's kind of box to box midfielder, was so delicate in possession, but so fluid in the way so fluid and direct in where he was going. Unbelievable turnaround for him, and obviously that whole City team has gone through quite a lot of adversity in terms of the media perception about them. Obviously Pep as well didn't overthink this final. Played the exact same team. I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was the exact same team that played in the semi as well. If I can quickly check that, yeah, there was no glaring overthinking about the team. Obviously, in 2021, was it? Yeah, 2021. It was in 2021. It was not starting a traditional holding midfielder. No Rodri, no Fernandinho, and it was quite ironic that Rodri actually got the goal right after not starting. In 2021. But yeah, it was a relatively similar lineup as I bring the lineups here. Yeah, so Akanji, Diaz, Ake, with Stones and Rodri, with that attacking quartet behind Haaland of Silva, De Bruyne, Gundogan, and Grealish. If I quickly go back to their semi-final second leg, in the semi-final second leg team, it was the exact same team. It was the exact same team that they started. Actually, no, with Ake started the final instead of Kyle Walker. So one change to that team. I think that was injury based as well. So didn't overthink it. Didn't do anything they didn't need to do. Just played the exact same team that got him there. And I think it was a good learning curve for Pep. He's overcome that barrier. That kind of with the Champions League without Messi is kind of what it is, right? I don't think he won one at Bayern. Did he win one at Bayern? No, he didn't. He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have. Because they won in 2013. Won in 2013, and then, yeah, he won in 2013, yeah, because Roberto Di Matteo made Pep Guardiola take a sabbatical from coaching for a year, and then he went to Bayern the year after that. So, yeah, first Champions League without Messi, so that kind of monkey off his back, that hurdle kind of overcome, and that doubt silenced. Fantastic for them. When you look at Inter, they've had a pretty good season in Europe, underwhelming season when it comes to the league. They finished in the top 4 without really making a splash. Considering that they finished in the top 4 without really making a splash, considering what they were able to do in the last couple of years. Obviously winning the title the year before last, and then winning the title the year before last, and then obviously AC winning it this year. Inter obviously finishing in the top 4, but yeah, I think you can kind of have both teams ticked, both teams' seasons ticked as a success. If I can speak, that'd be fantastic. Both teams' seasons ticked as a success. Yeah, like it was one of those things, right? When you look at it from an Inter perspective, they were so close. City just did enough. It wasn't convincing, but they just did enough to win, and can't really blame them, right? You can't knock them for that. In finals, it's not about how you win as long as you win. So there you go. Congratulations to Man City. Congratulations to Pep. Congratulations to all the boys there. Haaland has certainly shut me up. You can go back to the clip on the YouTube channel that really outlines a lot of things that I got wrong about Erling Haaland this year, and more specifically what I got wrong about Darwin Núñez as well, but that's obviously a story for a different day. Good on them, inside commiserations, but it is what it is. It was a really interesting Champions League kind of thing, I'll tell you what, after I have a sip of water. Because obviously the way the draw fell, it was... maybe Napoli aside, it was Benfica or the 2 Milan teams versus on the side of the draw that featured Madrid, City, Chelsea, Bayern, I think it was, which is obviously something that Was it Bayern? I think it was Bayern, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Bayern. So, well, the Champions League could have looked a lot different if kind of it had fallen in a more equalised manner, with the teams being more spread out. Obviously, if Bayern had drawn Inter in the quarters or whatever it was, maybe that could have been a different story, right? If City had drawn Inter in the quarters, that could have been a different story. But it fell in the way that it fell. This is the next season will be the last season with the traditional Champions League format, I think. I think next season is the last with the traditional Champions League format, and that's obviously going to be a story for a different day. I'm pretty sure. I think there would, yeah. The reason why I'm pretty sure is because I think there would have been a lot more talk about this Champions League format being its last season. I think next season is its last. Regardless, that's obviously a story for a different day. But good on City, they did well. They did what they needed to do. So you can't really blame them. You can't really blame them. So fair play to them. They're now the best team. They've now established themselves as arguably the best English team ever. Won the treble in such convincing manner. Haaland up front is unbelievable. We'll speak on a couple of other players in that team as well a little bit later on. But yeah, full credit to them. They're good. They're scarily good. Okay, let's continue and let's move on to a game that actually happened before. As a car goes past, I don't know if you can actually hear it. I should probably watch back. What time is it? 16:03. Because I heard a car through my headphones drive past. I don't know if that's actually pickupable on the mic. So that's obviously something that I'll go back and look. But anyways, let's speak on the game that actually happened before the Champions League final. And that is, of course, the Conference League final that happened. When did it actually happen? That happened like Wednesday night or Thursday morning, was it? Friday morning would have been. No, Saturday morning. When did that happen? Did that happen last week? No, it wouldn't have. When did that happen? Unless it's not coming up on FOTMob for whatever reason. Okay, let's just search West Ham, shall we? This is horrible kind of preparation, in a sense. That happened on the 8th, yeah, Thursday the 8th. So, like, a week ago. Anyways. Ignore me. Yeah, West Ham won. They beat Fiorentina. That's great. Good on them. Good on them. They did well. They finally got a European trophy under their belt. So congratulations to them. Stupid fucking pricks throwing shit on the ground or throwing shit on the field and breaking some guy's head. I can't remember who it was. He started bleeding and stuff. Don't do that. Don't be an idiot. That was a bit of a shame. But apart from that, I thought it was quite good. I thought it was quite good, and it was a game in which was like ebbing and flowing, and then Bowen scoring late, sealing the deal for West Ham. A lot of feel-good stories coming about from it, so fair enough to them. And then obviously Declan Rice as well is probably the big kind of story coming out of it. Does he stay? Does he go? It was very diplomatic in his post-game press conference, but I think it has been announced that by the chairman David Sullivan that he will be departing at the end of this year. I don't think West Ham fans will hold any ill will towards him. He's kind of taken them as far as he possibly can. European trophy in his last game, similar to how Eden Hazard left Chelsea. Different players, of course, but obviously took them, kind of made his intentions clear without saying his intentions. Pre-season, we all know that he can go on to bigger and better things with Declan Rice, and he didn't down tools. He gave it his everything. Probably played his best ever season in this season. Last year as well, it was quite good. But this season, obviously, silverware-wise, won West Ham European trophy. Can ride off now into a top 6 team and really take his career forward. Full credit to him. I like the way that he kind of went about it. I like the way that he went about the season. He kind of everyone kind of knew that he would probably leave, and I assume that he will leave at the end of this year. But he made sure that he gave everything, and that's something that I think I respect. A lot of people will respect, and didn't down tools, didn't do a fucking I don't know who's done it. He didn't do a Dimitri Payet. Put it that way. If you want to use another West Ham kind of comparison, he didn't do a Dimitri Payet. He kind of held the club in a kind of area in any kind of similar realms of respect and honour, and honoured the shirt, honoured the badge, and gave it his all until the final whistle of his tenure, and then he'll obviously move on. I don't think any West Ham fans will hold any ill will towards him, so that'll obviously be interesting the first time he goes to the Olympic Stadium with his new club, assuming the obvious, in which he does leave, happens. Would be interesting to see if he doesn't leave. I don't know what. I don't. Why that he wouldn't. I don't know why he wouldn't. Surely now it's a perfect time. You don't want to. You want to leave at a high, right? So I assume he will leave now. But if he doesn't, it'll be interesting. That obviously means that he's got faith in what West Ham are doing. That obviously means he's got faith in where they're going. I don't share that faith, unfortunately. I think they'll be good, but they won't be challenging top 6 anytime soon, I don't think. I just think the quality's too good for the rest of the league. But anyways, yeah, no, fair play to Declan Rice. Fair play to West Ham. Good stuff. The Bowen goal was well taken towards the end. And yeah, the scenes in Prague were pretty mental. Ignoring all the smashing up of shops and bashing people. Apart from that, top-notch stuff. Fantastic stuff. Good on them. So let's move on. Quickly. Transfer news. Got a lot to speak about here. What do we start with or what do we finish with? I think we're going to finish with this point. We're going to finish with this as I move it to the bottom of my run sheet. We're going to finish with that. And yeah, let's touch on probably the biggest one, and that is Messi moving to Inter Miami. Now, yeah, wow. So like, I'm trying to provide a different angle from it, because I can just say, yeah, Messi is probably going to move to Inter Miami. It's obviously spells the end of the Messi-Ronaldo era in my books. We are now moving on to a completely different era, the Mbappe-Haaland era, probably. It probably spells the end for any kind of resemblance of a Ballon d'Or or anything like that. He kind of finished, or he in his last season at the top flight, he won a World Cup, won a league. Shame he didn't win the Champions League with PSG, but I think it's one of those things where he's done enough already, right? The best player to ever play the game, in my opinion. I'm a staunch Messi over Ronaldo. And probably has something to do with me and Messi sharing a lot of things in common, most notably height. Footballing ability, we're not far off either. So I'm obviously, yeah, Messi over Ronaldo guy. But yeah, the best player to ever play the game, in my opinion, kind of the best kind of story to come out of any World Cup in this year, and I think he's deserved everything. I think he has deserved the right to go to the MLS and not give a fuck for 3 years and then retire and earn $7 billion or whatever he's earning. We're going to speak about earning money as well in a second when we speak on Benzema, but you now in my opinion, in the same way that you can't take Ronaldo's move to Saudi Arabia into account when you're speaking about that debate, you can't take Messi's move. You can't take Messi's move to Inter Miami into account when looking at that debate, because he's already done what he's needed to do. He's already proven himself. He's already shown everything, just how good he is. Same way that Ronaldo showed how good he was when he was at United, then Real Madrid, then Juventus, and then back to United, right? Messi has done what he's needed to do. This is just his kind of swan song, can just kind of chill, relax, give us a highlight every 6 months. I will get 7 billion views on Twitter or TikTok or whatever, earn so much money, live in Miami, which is one of the better places to live in America, and just chill. Yeah, like he's still the best ever in my book, but you can't take it into account, in my opinion, when it comes to this debate. And even still, I think that you know what I'm saying? Yeah, even still, I think if you were to take into account Messi's move to the MLS and compare it to Ronaldo's move to Saudi Arabia, I think Messi comes off that argument better. So if Ronaldo fans want to do that, then by all means. But I don't think you can. I think both players have kind of proven themselves, and it is what it is, right? Just let them enjoy it. Let them enjoy their life, man. Like, not everything's a competition. Not everything is a competition about this, and not everything is all, he scored this amount of goals in this competition, and he did this and he did that. Just let it go. Let it go, man. It's fine. I think now that he's won the World Cup, the debate's done, just quietly. But if you want to continue that debate, then great. I don't think there's a debate to be had. If you are going to do it, then by all means, do it. That's fine. What does this do to the US football? I think that's probably another good talking point. Look, this is a fantastic coup for the MLS, considering obviously the World Cup is in The World Cup is in 2026. I'm assuming Miami would be one of the host cities. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. Obviously, they're building a new stadium, so that's obviously going to be a big part of the kind of appeal for Messi to come. Look, it's one of those things where you kind of naturally I compare it to the A League, and Australia and America are two different countries, right? That have two different appeals and that are two different fucking economies, right? Obviously, the MLS is going to be a far more lucrative kind of option than a lot of other countries. The MLS is in the perfect place now where it strikes the balance between being a retirement league but also a genuine good standard of football. Like, it's a good standard of football. We saw the US, right? In the World Cup, they shocked a lot of people. Didn't shock me. Shocked a lot of other people, though. We thought they were able to do, and I think a lot of those players have come from the MLS. A lot of the youth players that have come from that are in the American team now have come from the MLS in some respects. So we obviously all know that the league is actually at a good quality now, and I think getting in someone like Messi is the perfect kind of player to bridge that gap, or not bridge that gap, but allow the mainstream media to get behind it and to get around it, and then also gives a lot to the football kind of hardcores in America that are like, fuck, we've worked our ass off and now we get to see Messi play live. How cool is that, right? Obviously, big coup for Inter Miami. They are bottom of the league in the MLS, or bottom of their conference, or whatever it is that they do over there. So hopefully when that deal eventually goes through, I'm assuming it will, he can take that forward and really improve them and get them back, or get them up to the top upper echelons of the MLS. I think this deal also includes a kind of area that or a way that includes a clause that Messi can own his own MLS franchise, similar to David Beckham. That's quite funny. Imagine if England did that. Imagine when Ronaldo came back to United, like last year or 2 years ago. There was a clause in his contract that was like, all right, once you retire, once you leave, you can own Southampton, or you can own like Maidstone or something. That would be fun. That would be fun. Imagine. Like, I just see everyone sit back and imagine Cristiano Ronaldo owning and running Maidenhead United, or Southend United, or not Wrexham, or like Notts County, or like a team like that. That would be so unbelievably funny. Oh my god, he'd probably play himself. Do you reckon if Ronaldo? Quick question without notice, like I'm talking to someone, talking to you guys, listening. If Ronaldo was to be the owner of a football club, do you reckon he would pick himself? Do you reckon he would sign himself and play himself? Sign himself as a manager. That's his transition into management. We saw in 2016 what he was able to do as a manager in that final. Maybe that can be his in to the managerial sphere, owning a franchise, and then kind of signing himself as player manager. He can play up front and coach. That'd be so funny. Anyways, and who's going to tell him off? No one's going to tell him off because it's Ronaldo of all people. Anyways, speaking of kind of Ronaldo, he obviously plays in Saudi Arabia, and another player that's joining him in Saudi Arabia is Karim Benzema. Let's speak about this when it comes from the perspective of what is going on with football. Football is fucked. Benzema is going to be earning something along the lines of £300,000 every 3 days. I don't know what exactly his contract is, but basically his contract is fucked. I don't know, man. I don't know. Where do you go from here? If Benzema is still relatively in his prime, right? He's still a fantastic player. Won a Ballon d'Or not long ago. Did he? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did in 2021. He did. Anyways, he won a Ballon d'Or and Champions League winner last year. One of the best strikers in the world, if not the best. And he's gone to Saudi Arabia earning a shit tons of money, and basically the state is buying him, and the state just assigned him a team. Is this either going to be the future of football, which is scary and fucking annoying, or it's going to be similar to how the Chinese Super League operated, where similar to how the Chinese Super League operated, where they got your Oscars and your Hulks and all these players, and were fine for, and were rich and doing everything good for like 4 years, and then eventually the state realizes, shit, this is not actually how you grow football, because football isn't a business, it's football, and you can't just buy your way to the top. So as a country, so they change it and they bring in laws to prevent teams buying the best players and just spending stupid amounts of money and ruining the competition and ruining football. Hopefully it's the latter. Hopefully we see the rise and swift downfall of this kind of new trend that is occurring in a relatively quick manner. Hopefully this can end by the end of the year, and we see Benzema returning. Maybe Benzema goes to the MLS, goes to Serie A, something like that. Obviously there's another player who's a free agent who could potentially go to Saudi Arabia, which we'll speak on at the end of the podcast, or at the latter end of the podcast, I should say. But I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I hate it. Why? Why do players want to ruin their careers for? Why do players want to ruin their career? Like, I get it, right? I get it. It's stupid amounts of money. It is stupid amounts of money that is, I think, income tax free. I think Saudi Arabia has no income tax. Obviously, there's other taxes involved, but the main income tax has no income tax, right? So that's obviously another allure. They're getting cash, basically, for the most part. And surely, I get it, but Benzema has been on. Benzema would have been on at least 3 digits, at least 6 figures, for the past 4 years. At least six figures for the past 4 years. When did he sign his new deal? His deal would have run out this summer. For the last 4 years, he would have at least been on 100k a week, right? Surely, right? That's what, $1.2 million, £1.2 million a year. We'll just use pounds. Or we'll use euros, because he's in Spain. 1.2 million euros a year for 4 years. That's, 12 times 4. I didn't do maths in year 12 in VCA for a reason. That's 48. So that's 48 million. Yeah, that's 48 million. 48 million over 4 years, you'd think, at a minimum. That's his base wage. And then you take his 10 years before that, in which you can bump that 48 million up to 100, we'll just assume. Or we'll go 80. We'll say he's doubled it in his 10 years previous. And then that's just base wage. And then you take into account sponsorships, you take into account a Ballon d'Or clause, you take into account goal bonuses and all this shit. Like, he's a multi-millionaire. He's probably earned at least 200 million in his career. Does he need any more fucking money? Like, does he really need any more money? Like, surely he's got a career set up post football as a coach or as a pundit, right? Like, surely he can't. Like, where's the point? Like, where's the point? Where's the draw? Where's the threshold when it comes to money? Like, if Saudi Arabia offered me, if I was Karim Benzema and Saudi Arabia offered me 300k a week for 2 years, that's what, 3 times 12 is what? I once again did do maths in year 12 for a reason. 3 times 12 is what? 36? Yeah, 36. Is it? Yeah, 36, I think. Anyways, but whatever 3 times 12 is, 3 times 12 times 2, whatever that is, that's a lot of money. Would I go if I was Karim Benzema? Probably not. But if they offered me $100 million a year, I probably would go. So it's the threshold, right? It's about what actually is the money and how much it actually is worth. But hopefully the trend ends swiftly, because I'm not doing Saudi Arabian reviews. I'm just not. And I say this now. I said I was going to do Ronaldo watch when he went to Saudi Arabia. I don't care for the Saudi Arabian League. I don't watch the games, and I'm not spending 10 seconds going on FotMob, typing in Cristiano Ronaldo and checking his stats. I can't be bothered. I'm not doing it. So yeah. Jesus Christ. Anyways, hopefully he comes back to Europe. Or goes to like South America. Imagine Benzema playing for like Boca Juniors. That'd be sick. That'd be insane. But he'll probably go to MLS, probably. More likely than not. Anyways, let's move on to another signing. And an actual football signing that has merit and that I can speak about I can actually speak about. Alexis McAllister to Liverpool for 35 million. Absolute bargain. Absolute bargain. That will be, I'm calling it now, I'm calling it earlier. Alexis McAllister to Liverpool will be the signing of the summer. I'm calling it now and I'm calling it early. It's the 13th of June. You can quote me. Alexis McAllister will be the signing of the season next year. He's that good. He fits Liverpool's system that well. As I quickly write down something. He's that good. He fits Liverpool's system that well. Klopp will get the best out of him. He's going to fit in like a glove as a number 8, as a number 6, as a box to box, as a 10, as whatever you want him to be because he's that versatile. We saw the transition that he was able to do when it comes to the game style that Potter played at Brighton and when it comes to the game style that De Zerbi played at Brighton. Very similar, but also has a lot of key differences. He was able to transition his game. He was able to transform his game. He's played in a lot of different positions. Very versatile, both positionally but also tactically quite versatile, which I think is something that for a Klopp team in this new kind of era for Klopp, where he's starting to become a lot more fluid and starting to become a lot more not as reliant on that front three. On that front three and the fullbacks, he's trying to get his midfield into the game a little bit more. I think he can, if Klopp needs an industrious box-to-box, hard-working midfielder, McAllister can offer that. If he needs a number 8, if he needs someone to push in between the lines and really create something dangerous in attack and get on the score sheet, I think McAllister, Jesus Christ, I think McAllister can do that as well. It once again comes down to the system in which Klopp is going to play. Will McAllister start? I think he will. Obviously, there's no Jude Bellingham. He's gone to Real Madrid, which is something that we'll touch on next. Or we'll touch on soon even. So there's obviously no Jude Bellingham. So I think McAllister will be a little bit of a marquee signing for them. Will he play every single game? Probably not. I still think there's going to be heavy rotation in that midfield. They probably do need a couple more players to fit in that midfield. Obviously, Keita's gone, Milner's gone, Henderson's on his last legs. So now you're really relying on Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, McAllister's come in, obviously. Who else as well? What would their midfield probably be right now? Let's take a look at their squad. Let's take a look at their squad. What would their team be right now? Because obviously that's probably the area in which they've been needing. That's the midfield area is something that they've needed to address for a long time. Ever since Wijnaldum has left. That hole in that midfield has obviously been gaping, right? So their midfield right now stands. As it stands right now on FOTMob, it has Jordan Henderson, and as Jordan Henderson is on his last legs, Thiago Alcantara, who I think his contract is running down, if I'm not mistaken. He's 32 as well, so he's probably on his last legs. Fabinho is number 6, who's probably on his last legs as well. Keita's gone, Artur's shit and gone, and then you've got Jones, Elliott, and Bacektic. Stefan Bacektic, I think. They need midfield reinforcements big time, and I think McAllister is the perfect kind of player for that. They probably do need to sign maybe 2 more. They probably need to sign a proper number. What's it called? Number 6. They'd probably get a proper number 6 in to maybe replace or kind of aid Fabinho because he's been a little bit off this season. Probably need to get maybe 2 other midfielders as well. So I think McAllister is a great signing for them. I think he'll fit the system like a glove, and crucially, he takes a very crucial part of a team that will be challenging for top 6 next season in Brighton. So very good signing for Liverpool. Really, if I was a Liverpool supporter, I'd be really happy with that. Really, really happy with that. Let me move on to another signing as we slowly tick over the 40-minute mark. Let's speak on Jude Bellingham now. I think that's a pretty good place to do it. Jude Bellingham. Bellingham to Real Madrid, all but confirmed £100 million. Baller. Unbelievable. Real Madrid's midfield. Valverde, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Bellingham. Get fucked. get fucked. Just get fucked. They're playing Camavinga left back because he's that good and they can't fit him in their midfield. Their midfield for the next 10 years is going to be the best midfield ever. Maybe not ever, but so good, man. They all complement each other beautifully. Maybe the one thing that I can maybe criticize in that is that they don't Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, and Bellingham. There's no true number 8. There's no. Maybe Bellingham can play like that, but Bellingham I think works better as a box to box midfielder. But there's no 15 goal a season player in that quartet. But I think when you got Vinny Jr. on the left, I'm assuming they're going to bring in a reinforcement for Benzema, potentially someone like a Harry Kane. You don't really need 15 goals from a midfielder when you got Kane and Vinny Jr. Right? But yeah, unbelievable signing for them. It was. I'm surprised he hasn't gone to Liverpool. That was obviously something that I thought was going to happen, and was shocked when it didn't happen. I was shocked when it didn't happen when it kind of should have, in a sense. Obviously that was more last year and even in January as well. So that's obviously one of those things where you kind of maybe a little bit of a sliding doors moment. If Liverpool don't get the adequate reinforcements that they need, maybe it's a little bit of a sliding doors moment where it's like, fuck, if they just got Bellingham in January, if they've pushed 120 million for Bellingham when they needed to get him, maybe that could have aided their ability to win the league potentially. But I think the pool of Real Madrid is still absurd. You can't it's Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid. As much as I dislike the fundamentals about that club, from the history of it to the way that they're run now, you can't. It's Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid, the best club in the world, arguably one of, if not the best club in the world. Definitely one of the best run clubs in the world. Blows their Catalan rivals out of the water in that respect. So fair play to Bellingham. He's obviously gone, and it's obviously quite a funny moment how obviously that what was it? Birmingham retired his shirt. Everyone laughed, and then all of a sudden he's gone on, played in the World Cup. Star player for Borussia Dortmund, and will probably be a star player for Real Madrid in the near future. Star, really, really good footballer. Is Jude Bellingham? I feel like he's 16 still. I think he's like 20. I think he's 20, or maybe even 21. Wait, there's no way he's still 19, right? There is no way Jude Bellingham is still 19. I can't. I refuse. I refuse to believe Jude Bellingham is still 19. Oh, he's still 19. He's 19 years old. Fuck me. He's unbelievable. He's so good. Is there a Ballon d'Or in his future? That's a good question. Is there a Ballon d'Or in Jude Bellingham's future? Wouldn't put it past it. I really wouldn't put it past it. He has all the minerals to do it. He's aggressive, he's strong, he's quick, he's good on the ball, he can hit the score sheet, he does defensive work, he works hard all day, he's very out there, very enthusiastic, very flamboyant, but also very industrious at times. Yeah, definitely would not put it past him to win a Ballon d'Or. Is there a clause in his contract? Have they done a Man United with Martial? Get that clause in his contract. Would be funny if they did, no. But yeah, I fully respect. Yeah, I fully rate Jude Bellingham so highly. He's England's best player. Oh, Harry Kane exists. They're 1-2. They're 1-2. He's got 15 years left in him, which is mental because it feels like he's been around for 10. It feels like Bellingham's been around for 6 years already, and he's got at least 15 left in him. Hopefully his body doesn't break down with all the games that he's been playing so early on in his career. Hopefully that can just kind of streamline and it can be fine. But yeah, fuck. There you go. That'd be I'm just thinking about Jude Bellingham Ballon d'Or, first English Ballon d'Or since Owen. Lampard should have won it 1 year, finished second. I think it was Ronaldinho, 2008? No, 7? Something like that. 5 even, maybe. Might have been 5. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, that's probably enough on Jude. Nah. Fuck yeah. Do you reckon that would get a go in the Bernabeu, the Hey Jude song? It would be funny if it did. It would be funny if it did. One of those things, no? One of those things. Anyways, let's move on and let's kind of bring it down a notch. Let's speak about a slightly more kind of transfer. That is Yuri Tielemans to Aston Villa. Unbelievable get. Villa's squad is so good. Like, it is such a hipster squad. Villa's squad is such a hipster squad, and I love it with all my heart. It's actually glorious. Villa's squad is such a hipster squad. It is so funny. Let's bring up their squad. So you've got Martinez in goal, who's this kind of like flamboyant, out there, extroverted goalkeeper who can play with his feet, but also with really good shot stop. By their defense, you've got Diogo Carlos, who's this kind of like unknown kind of centre back who's really good, but hasn't really had a chance to play because he's been injured. Mings, who's like this kind of Mings is very divisive. He's shit, but he's divisive. But even their midfield, like Coutinho, just so good. McGinn, Dendoncker, Buendia, Douglas Luiz, Kamara, Ramsey, and then up front, Leon Bailey, Watkins, Bertrand Traore, Cameron Archer. Such a hipster squad. Add thingy to him, to that squad. Add Yuri Tielemans to that squad. Very good. Where does he play? I don't know. Obviously, Emery's kind of played this kind of 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, a little bit at times for Villa. Like a 4-4-2. Yeah, like it really floats. It floats. He would probably play in the Jacob Ramsey role if I had to assume. Maybe, or does he play in the Kamara role? Probably he's not good enough defensively to play in the Kamara, or like I'm just looking at their lineup against Liverpool. We'll just take any random lineup. We'll just take their lineup against Chelsea, for example. Yeah, where does he play? Can't play as a 10. He's not a 10, so Buendia's spot's safe. / Coutinho. / Bailey. Leon Bailey. Can't play a second striker, not really. Can't play out wide. Can he? It's a weird signing, actually, thinking about it. I don't know where he plays. Unless he plays in that Jacob Ramsey role. But Jacob Ramsey is more of an 8, kind of pushes forward, scores quite often. Unless they change the way that they want to play, and Tielemans can sit deep in that maybe Douglas Luiz role. And then Kamara takes that more destroyer role, and then they can be a little bit more proactive in their possession with Tielemans, maybe. Who knows? I think that'll be a very interesting tactical development, how Emery can kind of evolve and change with Tielemans signing. I think Villa are going to be a real kind of not dark horse, but a real unknown quantity, because it depends on what signings they get in. If they keep going for players like Tielemans, who these like more possession based kind of silky style players, then maybe there could be something here. I don't know though. I don't know whether. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be strange. It's gonna be really strange. It's gonna be really, really strange. Really strange. Hopefully, it works, because I think Tielemans feeding Watkins, Leon Bailey, Ramsey as well could work a treat. It would have been better if Danny Ings was still there, because he'd be a player that could get onto the end of a lot of Yuri Tielemans' through balls and over balls over the top, because that would have been quite good. But anyways, let's move on to another signing that has happened. And that is, of course, or signing that has happened, signing that could happen, signing that might happen, signing that is potentially happening. Matej Kovacic to Manchester City. Look, as a Chelsea supporter, I'm disappointed. Naturally, obviously, I'm disappointed. But I think it's time. For him to go. Obviously, Kante's gone to Saudi Arabia as well, I'm pretty sure. Jorginho's left, so that kind of midfield trio that has been prevalent in Chelsea's squad for the past 5 years is going to change. I think it's a welcome change. Look, Kovacic is a fantastic footballer. He will slot into that Man City side, probably in that Ilkay Gundogan role, seamlessly, in my opinion. Probably doesn't have the goal scoring threat that Gundogan has, But look, he's a good player. I'm not saying he's a good player in the slightest. I'm not saying Chelsea should get rid of him. No, I'm not saying that it's a good thing that Chelsea are getting rid of him. I'm saying that it's potentially the best thing for Chelsea to just move on. Like, move on from that team. Yes, that team won a Champions League, but there's been a lot, like, that Champions League masked a lot of wrong and a lot of rebuilding that was needed in that squad. Obviously, that was carried by Tuchel in a sense, and like there was a lot of players who were in that squad who aren't in that squad now, and I think it's time that they like a straight refresh of the entire squad. If we look at our squad now, right, like Kepa needs to go, Mendy needs to go, Aspilicueta needs to go, even someone like everyone else. Okay, everyone else in that midfield, in that defense, is kind of maintain their spot. Maybe Chalobah, maybe needs to go, but in midfield, like Kante needs to go. He's gone. Kovacic, he's gone. Sakari needs to go. Loftus-Cheek probably needs to go. Mount, I love Mount with a passion. Like, he's my favourite footballer. I don't know. Forwards, Ziyech needs to go. Pulisic needs to go. Havertz needs to go. Aubameyang needs to go. Like, Aubameyang's not even part of that squad. But, like, the Chelsea need a total squad refresh because it isn't working. There's a lot of players that have come who aren't doing it. A lot of players who have come who aren't doing the business, and a lot of players who should come who should do the business. I'm like an Nkunku as well, who's going to come in and hopefully do good stuff for Chelsea. But yeah, no. Good signing for City, fantastic player for them, great get, really good get. It hurts as a Chelsea supporter seeing one of our better players move to a very good club and move to a club that hopefully we're going to be contending with next season. But I think it's the right choice. I think it's the right choice because you need to move on. You need to refresh. As Pep says, you need to refresh. Constantly refresh. Like, he got rid of Cancelo in a very callous manner because he just needed to refresh. You cannot keep the same team and win. You cannot keep the same squad and expect to win over and over again. You need to refresh. You need to keep going. And Kovacic is a staple of that 2018 to 2022 era of Chelsea, which has been, despite 2 European Cups, has been very unsuccessful, especially in the league. So if Chelsea want to get back to that top of the table where we potentially belong, it's going to be it's something that needs to happen. It's something that needs to happen, I think, and it's something that has been a long time. I wouldn't say a long time coming, but I'm happy it's happening. Not happy that he's leaving because he's a great player. Happy that the squad is being refreshed because I think it needs it. For City, like I said, fantastic player. Will slot into that Ilkay Gundogan role perfectly because Ilkay Gundogan may or may not leave. We'll be touching on that. We'll be touching on that next. Don't stress in that, if that makes sense. But yeah, no. Probably doesn't have the goals and assists that Gundogan has in him. Probably doesn't have the attacking kind of direct, like the final third directness that Gundogan has. Definitely has middle third directness. Definitely can carry the ball quite well. Not a bad pass, and when he does get on the end of a shot, it can be pretty deadly if he hits it well. So good signing for City. Yeah, it will keep them at the same level. I wouldn't say it would improve them, but they definitely won't regress with Kovacic playing in that role. That could be left by a vacant Ilkay Gundogan, who is potentially leaving. It's a good segue. The best segue I've ever done. Yeah, Gundogan, free agent. Will he leave? Will he stay? I'm not here to speak about that. I'm here to speak about him as a footballer. Like he's good, man. Like, he's good. Like when we look back at this team in 10, 15, 20, 30 years, the names that will be kind of prominent will be your Bernardo Silvas, your Jack Grealishes, your kind of Riyad Mahrezes, your Erling Haalands, etc., etc. But Ilkay Gundogan is arguably the most important player in this Man City squad and has been for a long time. Like, he is so good. So good. He is the definition of a player who has taken to his new role and has run with it. He's improved tenfold ever since he's come to the Premier League, and he's unbelievably good. Like, so good in so many areas. Can kind of sit slightly deeper and play as like a number 6 or a number 8, but has shown the ability, especially this season, to push on, break into the final third, get some much needed goals for City, and really kind of add that 10 goal contributions, 15 goal contributions this season, which has taken City to that next level. That's obviously something that they've missed quite dearly over the last couple of years, and Gundogan adding that to his game, adding that to City. He's worked off Haaland brilliantly. He's worked off Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish brilliantly. Fantastic footballer. Very, respectable footballer as well. Goes about his business in a very good way. And I think he'll be sorely missed at City. I think he'll be sorely missed at City. Whether or not players like a Mateo Kovacic who could potentially replace him, whether or not he can fill his boots, I don't know. It is one of those things, right? Do the likes of De Bruyne need to stand up a little bit more? Do the likes of Bernardo Silva need to stand up a little bit more? Do Grealish need to stand up a little bit more? Or does someone like a Cole Palmer need to stand up a little bit more and really take that mantle? I don't know, but yeah, fair play to Ilkay Gundogan, baller, absolute baller. Love the way he goes about things. He's kept the likes of Phil Foden out of the side. He's kind of pushed Bernardo Silva out to a wing. He's just been that good. He's just been that good. So fair play to him. He's a really good footballer. Really good footballer is Ilkay Gundogan. So anyway, let's move on and let's finish things up. And I want to speak about Poch to Chelsea, but before I do that, I want to take a quick break because my voice is a bit sore. So throat's a bit sore. So take a quick break and then we're going to come back and speak on Poch to Chelsea for hopefully not that long because I don't want to drive myself insane. So I'll be 2 seconds. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's speak about Poch to Chelsea. I said, I think it was 2 podcasts ago, I said that if it gets announced, I may or may not do an emergency podcast. It got announced literally in between that podcast going out or when I recorded and that going out. So I chose not to do an emergency podcast on it. I chose not to speak about it last week for obvious reasons. I was doing my reactions and my predictions. Speak about it this week. I'm not going to speak about it for long. I can't be bothered. I really don't want to. Okay, my initial reaction, it annoyed me. It really annoyed me because I thought there were far better candidates that are far bigger Chelsea men. I know that's a very arbitrary statement, and I know it's a very kind of, what even is that? We're a football club that is in disarray from top to bottom. It's complete lack of direction, and we need someone who can come in and understand what needs to happen and understand the roots of this football club and understand what this football club stands for. Poch, obviously being a Tottenham person, being one of Tottenham's better managers in their history, especially in modern times, and having such a strong connection to Tottenham does rub me up the wrong way. It does. However, and couple this with the fact that I think there are far better candidates. Should have gone after Nagelsmann. Should have gone after Enrique. Should have gone after Ange Postecoglou. I'm not enthused about it. I'm not clamouring for the season to start because I can't wait to see Poch ball, right? What is fact, though, is that he's a good manager. He's a good manager. Mauricio Pochettino is a good football manager. That is fact. And he will do well with his squad. That is also fact as well. He's a manager that showed at Spurs that he was able to create a connection between himself, the players, and the fans that really galvanised the club and really took them, probably gave them that extra 4, 5, 6 points a season that could really be the difference between 5th and 4th, between 3rd and 2nd, hopefully between 2nd and 1st, right? So fair play. Obviously you look at that and you think, okay, good stuff, right? We all know Poch's relationship with owners of football clubs. I don't know. I don't know how he's gonna bond with Todd Bowley. Bowley's obviously a very kind of divisive figure. He's already sacked 2 managers in his tenure already, and he's been in a job under a year. So fuck man, it's really tough. It is really tough, in my opinion. I don't think it's as clear as, oh, this is the best possible thing in the world, and I don't think it's as clear as this is the worst possible thing in the world. I'm gonna back him in. Obviously, he's the boss. He's the coach. You back him in, right? He's the manager. You are he's the person you back in, right? And I'm gonna back him in his ability to get the best out of our squad and get the best out of the players at our disposal. I think there's got to be a lot of players coming in the door and going out the door. I think we need a very big squad turnover. Nkunku coming in, I think he's good. I think we need to get rid of players like Pulisic and Ziyech and Havertz and Aubameyang, and even players like Loftus-Cheek, maybe Koulibaly, maybe Cucurella, maybe Aspilicueta. These type of players who were on the fringes who down tools last year at times. I'm not saying all of them down tools by any means, but I'm saying like those type of players. Look, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's tricky. I'm being very diplomatic. I don't want to put my neck out on the line too early. Hopefully Chelsea make top 4. I think Chelsea should make top 4. Will they? I don't know. I think the competition in the league next season is going to be tough. City are going to be up there. Liverpool are going to be up there. Arsenal are going to be up there a lot. Arsenal are going to be up there again. Tottenham are going to be up there. Brighton are going to be up there. Newcastle are going to be up there. I reckon Villa are going to be up there. There's United are going to be up there, of course. The top 6 next year is going to be... It's going to be really tight. Just get European football. Obviously, no European football for Poch next season helps. Kind of similar to how Conte was able to use that to his advantage when he came in and won the league. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to come in and win the league straight away. I think there's far better squads and far stronger squads that have more continuity within them. But overall, if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd give it maybe a 6 out of 10 in terms of my confidence and my kind of enthusiasm towards the start of the season. Although, I back him in. He's the boss. You back him in. Give him time. For God's sake, give him time. Do not sack him this season under any circumstance. Unless we're going to get relegated. Do not sack him under any circumstance. For God's sake. Because that is not what we need. We need stability. And we need stability. And having 3 managers in a season is not stability. So keep him for the whole year regardless of anything that happens. Unless, of course, we are genuinely going to go down. But apart from that, I don't know. A bit nervous, bit stressed, bit anxious heading into this season. Hopefully, I don't want to waste another year. I don't want to just write off another year in January. Hopefully, obviously, like I said, no European football, no World Cup break like there was this year. So hopefully it can be really streamlined throughout the year. We can get a really good base and get a good foundation sorted under Poch. Hopefully top 4 should be the aim. Hopefully we should get it. I think we will get it. Do I? I don't know. I don't know if we'll get it. Let me know in the comments below if you think we'll get it. I think we could. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not that confident as you could probably tell. But I think it's one of those things where you just have to back him in. You just have to back him in. Anyways, I think that is enough. I think that is enough for this episode. I have nothing to speak about. There's obviously European Euros qualifiers going on, but I'm not going to be speaking about those. But yes, this is it. Thank you all very much for sticking around. It is the end of season 2. Thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. This is the first full season of this podcast. Obviously started in January of last season. So I did 6 months of last season, did the first full season this year, World Cup break in between. So it's been 40, I think it's been close to 70 podcasts this season. We've done weekly since the start of the year, including daily for the World Cup, which was fucked in hindsight. I'm going to take a well-needed rest. I'm going to take a break. I'm not going to think about football for a bit. I need some time to just chill. I just need some time to chill and not look at this camera in every Monday afternoon. It's been a pleasure to be here every single week. Seeing the growth in the channel, seeing the growth in myself has been quite jarring in hindsight. It's quite funny how things work out. But if you've stuck around, or if you've stumbled across this one random week and you've watched it and you thought, yeah, this guy speaks some semblance of sense, thank you very much for sticking around. If you came from the Tottenham video last week or a couple of weeks ago, last week, or from the Tottenham for my appearance on We're Tottenham TV, then thank you very much for sticking around. If you have, make sure you subscribe. I apologise that it's kind of like this at the end of the season. I will be back sporadically throughout the off season. sporadically back throughout the off season. I'll be back weekly for for season 3, 2 weeks before the start of the season. So I think the first episode will be released on the 1st of July. I think it's the 1st of July. No, that can't be right. No, the 1st of August. Oh yeah, the 1st of August. I think... Is it the 1st of August? Yes, I think the first episode will be released on the 1st of August. That gives me 2 podcasts before the start of the season, and then the third podcast will be the recap of the first week of the Premier League season. So yeah, I'll be back weekly on the 1st of August. I'll be here sporadically throughout the off-season when there's some transfer news or something big happens or whatever. I'll be here like I was last year. No international football to speak about, so you won't be seeing me crying about Australia making the World Cup like I did last year. But yeah, thank you very much for sticking around. Been a lot of funny moments, funny memories this season. Obviously, the World Cup really killed me, both like mentally. Like, that was tough to get through. I got through it. I was proud of myself that I got through it. I was proud of the growth of the channel throughout this whole. Proud of the growth of the channel throughout this year. Make sure you stick around. I will see you guys not very soon, not next week, but soon. I'll see you soon. And yeah, stay well, stay safe. Thank you for sticking around. Make sure you subscribe to all the audio platforms, all that good stuff. Yeah, see you guys soon. Goodbye.